A lot of people start, podcasts or shows and things, and then they do it for a month or two, and then they don't even touch the equipment anymore, So I would make sure it's something that you want to do consistently.
It's tempting to go out and just spend the most money, but if you don't got the content behind it, if you don't got the, like you were saying, being comfortable being on the camera, it don't mean nothing. So celebrities everywhere, influencers, athletes, politicians, you name it, are jumping on podcasts. I do a lot of research. I take about maybe a week or two to come up with questions, things of that nature. But I feel like, and this could be me being biased, do you feel like celebrities that are jumping on, do you feel that they're being authentic with their content, or just because they have the fame, the name, they're going to get the viewers, the likes, but are they really putting out content?
Both.
They both?
I think both. I think that they use their fame and they know that people are going to watch and support just because of their name. I do think that there are some that are really putting effort and being creative and being authentic. I think those are few and far in between. Because you have to protect your brand. And
right.
So if you are a brand person, you're probably not going to be as authentic as you probably could be, because you don't want to turn people off. That's one of the reasons why my podcast name is Unapologetic, because I want to say what I feel and mean what I say. And because I'm me. I'm being authentic to what I believe and things like that. So I may turn people off with my opinions, but as far as, I'm authentic. We keep it real. Some athletes and celebrities are not able to be as open and honest as they could be to protect themselves.
When I see celebrities doing podcasts and then you happen to see videos of them outside of that realm, I've seen a couple of celebrities where they wasn't really brought into that podcast. Maybe their team or their management team was trying to get them to, hey, do a podcast so we get the money. It's about the money. It's about the money. We all know the money comes later, right? With subscriptions, monetization, but I sometimes feel like all these celebrities jumping on to do a podcast, but are they really authentic? And that goes into my next question. Do you think negative content is the thing to go for? Negative content get the views, it get the likes, it get the shares. Have you ever thought about doing controversial content? And if it got you the views, would you do it?
Well, I like the word controversial versus negative. They say all news is good news. Even the bad news is good publicity. That's my
Absolutely.
word. So, controversial, controversial now is when you say, like, it really gets on my nerves, this black men versus black women stuff and the gender roles and all. That's real big now. And people just start talking about it just to get, views and to just stir up conversation and just be messy. And it's working, actually. But,
it is working. It's definitely working.
But I don't think that it's not a road that I want to go down. We do talk about, the latest in entertainment, what people are talking about on social media. So we do cover it, but it's something that I'm really trying to get away from. And if it's redundant, if everybody is doing it, then, are you really going to get what makes you different than anybody else? Why do I need to listen to you when I can go listen to somebody else that's doing the exact same thing?
Whoever's the most disrespectful.
So I'm going to stay away from that type of stuff. But, people love the drama and they love the gossip of it and they love to reshare it. So, but I don't necessarily think that, it may get you a viral moment. It might get you a few more followers, but, is it something that a thinker if they're really going to continue to want to listen to you just continue to be messy and controversial on purpose. I think that you find people who are just looking for that moment.
Masculinity, femininity. I don't want to have a big conversation about that, right? Because then that goes into a different realm. But how do men and women have a healthy conversation about masculinity and feminism or femininity, whichever one? But how do you have a healthy conversation about it?
I mean, just be honest. It's going to be different for everyone, every person that talks about it. My masculinity is not going to be your definition of masculinity, and same thing with feminism. So, the first thing is to just respect people's opinions and know that there's no right and there's no wrong. We're all different. We're all going to see different. We all have different wants and needs. When you enter the conversation saying, I'm right, you're wrong, this is how it's supposed to be, and it's no way you could prove that. You may feel like you have to pay every bill in the house in order to feel the most masculine. I may feel like you can go 50-50 and still be a man, or not even have a job, and it's still my house. I'm still the man of the house. So, that is just the way of the world.
Yeah, because a lot of people will take stuff from the internet and have very strong opinions, and we see it every day, right? I'm calling it professional debaters or professional shamers. Professional debaters will always sound like they're right. Professional shamers will always sound like they're right because they have crafted an art of countering everything you say. And that get likes and views on the internet. And that creates the perception that, he or she trumps him every question.
Yeah.
And he must be right. Does likes, views, and comments make people feel like they're more right?
I'm pretty sure they do. If you have, 1 million followers, you would think that, okay, well, somebody agreeing with my style. I think that for those type of people, those professional debaters and shamers that you speak of, weak-minded people will take to that, will gravitate to that and keep going back for it. And then they will go and spew it on their platforms. And if they're having conversations elsewhere, people who think, for themselves and stay true to themselves are not going to allow those type of people to manipulate their brains. Okay. And then especially, reshare it. I want to go back 1 second to what you said about like athletes and celebrities. Okay. A lot of them, they come in with the podcast deal.
Oh, you see that? Okay.
Where they already, they're going to make money just because it's their name, it's their brand. So they don't even have to have a certain amount of subscribers or followers or things like that, because they're going to get their money regardless of how well the podcast does, as well. So people who that are not, they are on the internet just to find, that viral moment and cause chaos. It's only a certain demographic of people that's going to deal with that type of stuff.
When I go in and I do research about podcasts, I'm like, okay, taking tips and things from other people. And I'll be like, man, this person got a lot of views and it just sounds negative. And, it makes me think, is our culture of conversation just negative, or is it just people like chaos, people like violence, right? People like sex, they like those things people like, right? Money. So is it just where that's a part of the other three, or the other two, really? Yeah. Violence and sex, it's just negative, it's just a part of that three.
Well, you said our culture. What culture are you referring to?
So when I say culture, right, the culture of entertainment. The culture of entertainment, what sells on TV? Violence. What sells? Sex, right? Crazy talk shows. Are we attracted to just controversial, just in general? Because you'll never see the video. Well, there are some, not all, I'm not going to say, but most of the video that talks about positivity, they not streaming, likes, the algorithm pushes it, but it ain't pushing like the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, to each his own. Young people, they tend to like that type of stuff, and older people too. But I don't think that we don't even really do the internet like that.